Hello, music fans. It's Brennan from Death by Unicorn here, bringing another episode of What's New 2022, where I talk about new albums that came out over the past week in the metal, rock, and progressive music worlds, and I give my first impressions on them. And I'm going to talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Polyphia and their album Remember That You Will Die. All these albums came out on Friday, October 28th, 2022. This one is their fourth album. It's progressive rock with some math rock, electronic, hip hop, pop, metal, and jazz influences thrown in. Such amazing, clean, and fast guitar playing. They're typically an instrumental progressive rock band, but they also feature vocals on a bunch of the songs. They have guest vocalists. They have a lot of influences from modern music, electronic and hip hop music, as well as math rock. The song Playing God that they released has so much insane guitar playing on it. A lot of the other songs on the album feature great guest vocalists, and it's really cool because they all sound so different. For example, Sophia Black shows how fast she can recite the alphabet on the track ABC, and it's really interesting to hear a female pop star sounding voice over this progressive metal style shred guitar with hip hop beats and jazzy vibes all in one song. Many of the songs with the hip hop vibes remind me of the album Homie from Chon. If you're a fan of that album, you'll probably like this one. The song Bloodbath features Chino Moreno from Deftones and has some of the heaviest metal guitars on the album. And Chino's vocals and melodies are so beautiful on here. The last song on the album, Ego Death, features guitar virtuoso Steve Vai and has really cool playing as well. Second album I'm going to talk about is from the band Obsidious, and it's called Iconic. This is technical progressive death metal. It's the debut album from this band. They're an international band with some members from Germany, Austria, and the UK. And they're making really cool technical music with great vocals, clean singing, and some screams as well. For fans of bands like Ne Obliviscaris, The Faceless, and An Abstract Illusion. If you like those bands, you'll probably like this. Third one I'm going to talk about is another release from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and it's called Changes. And this is psychedelic rock. It's their 23rd album. Their fifth album that they've released this year, but their 23rd overall. It's a bit jazzy, a bit psychedelic, a bit proggy, a bit poppy, a bit dancey, a bit R&B. And I noticed the first letter of every track spells out the name of the album, Changes, and it starts with a 13-minute title track, which is the standout track for me. And as far as how this compares to the other albums that King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released this year, I like it better than Made in Timeland, but I don't think it's quite as good as Omnium Gatherum. It's kind of on par with Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and Lava. I think I said that title right. And the other one, Laminated Denim. Those three are all pretty neck and neck for me. They're very similar in quality. Next, I'm going to talk about an album from a band called The Gloom in the Corner. And the album's called Trinity. This is their second album. It's progressive metalcore, bit of djent vibes in here, some deathcore influences. It's very catchy. The vocals on the singles I heard sounded really impressive. There's some great singing and great screaming, so I put it on my radar. One song on here features Lauren Babick from Red Handed Denial, and her vocals are always great. And I was pleasantly surprised by this whole album. Really, I think it's a concept album. Though I didn't fully follow the story, it felt to me when I was listening to it that it had some kind of narrative arc, and it had some of the coolest heavy breakdowns and riffs, as well as amazing melodies, and a couple softer songs as well. And There were even some vocal deliveries on here that had moments that sounded like they were bordering on hip hop. There's some progressive stuff on here, like atypical song structures and time signature changes, but it's still pretty good and accessible as well. Two more albums to talk about that I heard from October 28th so far. Dead Cross is the next band, and their album's called just 2, the Roman numeral 2. And this is hardcore punk with heavy metal and thrash metal influences. It's their second album, hence the name 2. And it's a super group with Mike Patton from Mr. Bungle and Faith No More on vocals. So you know it's going to be good when he's in it. And Dave Lombardo from Slayer on drums. And Lombardo is keeping busy and playing drums with a lot of different bands like Testament, Phantomas, where Mike Patton is also a member, Suicidal Tendencies, Mr. Bungle, also with Mike Patton, and the Misfits. This is just a solid hardcore punk album. If you're a fan of bands like the Cancer Bats, but then you like something where there's some more odd, intricate parts reminiscent of the Dillinger Escape Plan thrown in from time to time, then you'll probably like this. And lastly, I'm going to mention an album by the band Fit for a King. It is called The Hell We Create, and this is metalcore. It's their 7th album, another catchy metalcore album with some cool breakdowns. It's nothing revolutionary here, but it's very solid and well done. And that's it for today. Until next time, peace out.